Everybody, Doug here, Doug Mystic on Board Game Geek, bringing you another playthrough. I think, I'm kind of jonesing for a Darkest Night playthrough because I'm waiting for my second edition to be published. But you say, hey, wait, Doug, that looks like the second edition right there. Well, it is. It's the prototype version that Victory Point Games was kind enough to send me a while back. I did a playthrough of it, and I've been waiting a while, so I thought I'd do another one. I don't think they'd mind, keeping in mind that everything here is prototype and not final versions of anything. In fact, the rules are, I just have the rules printed on, sorry, they're on the screen. I don't even have them printed out. But I saved the last bit of setup for last with you guys. I thought I'd pick our characters at random so I can show you who I get. We're gonna get started right away. Now, if you remember, Darkest Night is a game where the world has essentially been consumed by an evil necromancer. There is a bastion of light, the monastery, which is keeping the whole world together. It's the last place of hope, and the four heroes are going to be venturing forth from there to try and find the power to destroy the necromancer through holy relics that have been hidden. And we're going to do that through discovering mysteries and taking on quests and solving events and basically killing and defeating blights in the world and destroying evil bad things. And we're going to do that with 4 different characters that are vastly unique. And so how we do that first is these are the characters. You can see there's going to be a bunch of them in the game. I'm going to shuffle these up, and we're simply going to take 4. We're going to play those 4. It's going to be really simple. And this will probably go over. This one will be a longer session because this game tends to run longer, but in a great way because it's so much fun. And just think we can get some new stuff here. The mysteries are really cool. I really like the mystery mechanic, and I really like the darkness cards. We're going to use those darkness cards instead of the necromancer just putting down more blights. He actually gets special abilities, which I think is more interesting. So anyway, I've been shuffling as we've been talking, and let's see. So we're going to pull the first one out. Let's pull it out from the middle. Who do we get? We get the Acolyte. Okay. The Acolyte is a character that we didn't play last time, which is good. If I do get a character I played my last playthrough, I'm probably going to change it out. I'm still just kind of shuffling through. Our second character is going to be the Mesmer. Uh-oh, we got a magic-focused group so far. Let's hope that doesn't... Now, we're going to do this randomly. It could end up really burning us, but we'll see. The third one is going to be the Ranger. That's good. We got somebody who can scout, do that thing. And our fourth character is going to be... Let's see. Boom. The Mercenary. I haven't played either. Okay, great. That's awesome. All new for us. So those are the characters that we're going to play. I'm going to put them aside. The other thing that we need to do is we need to put out blights on the board. So here's our lovely map deck. And remember, this is a prototype board, so it's just a cardboard. It's not a mounted board like it will be in the final version. But we're going to have to shuffle up these map cards. And I'm going to draw one, and we're going to place a blight in each location on the map, with the exception, of course, the monastery. That's where heroes are going to start. And then I'll set up the heroes and the hero decks. We'll talk about their abilities, etc. Anyway, I'm shuffling away. And we're going to draw a map, the first of our map cards, and there it is. So look at the beautiful artwork. These, I mean, while these are prototype, I think this is the way they're intended to look for the final. I mean, just really beautiful. It shows each of the symbols of each of the sites. And we're going to go put blights on these according to the map. So in the mountains, we're going to get a set of shades, so I have to find them. Let's see. I might do this because I got to look through the blights. There's quite a few of them. Normally, you're only placing one. It's a little easier than trying to replace a bunch of them. But I'm just looking for the shades, and I know what they even look like on the token if I can find them. There they are. Nope, spies. All right, guys. I'm going. Looks like I'm going to have to pause for a moment. Hold on. There we go. There are the shades. You can see the shade token here. They need a 5 to defeat, and we'll go over that. If you haven't played the game before, I'll show you what it is. And here's the shades other side of the counter that shows all the things that they do. So they're going to go up here in the mountains. Then next up we have in the castle, we're going to have skeletons. Well, that's not too bad. They're pretty straightforward. So far we got monsters in for our blights. These guys here, these fine fellows, this is what they look like on the front, and then on the back there's all their stats. There's their stats for us. That is their. That's what happens if we defend against them. That's what happens if we try to evade them, and then that's what happens when we try to kill them. If we fail, they kill us. So we cannot fail. Okay, next up, and killing is relative in this game, and I'll tell you how that works. So next up in the village, we have an enigma. Ooh, an enigma. What is that going to do to us? Probably something really bad, right? So let me look for the enigma here. Okay. I cannot see the enigma. Where is it? Now I know that it's going to be one of the blue or back or oh, there it is, red-backed one. So this is really bad. The enigma, that means it's bad. So what does it do? +1 search difficulty. So that is going to be in the village. So that's not good because that means it's harder for us to search in the village, which has a pretty low search difficulty of 3. That sucks. Okay, and then in the swamp, we're going to get a nexus. A nexus is a bad thing as well. They're all bad, of course, because they're blights and they're created by the evil, dark necromancer. Here's a nexus. Basically, that's what it looks like. It's a forest with a light coming through it, and that is its token right there. Protects far blights. Now, I'll tell you what that means later, but that is going to be in the swamp. We're going to have to destroy that one relatively quickly. And then we also then, in the forest, we're going to have an omen. Omens aren't that terrible. Let me find the omen. There they are. Okay, omen is basically higher fate events. So when we go in there, when we draw a fate event, we're going to draw 2 and take the higher one. That's bad, but we'll be able to destroy that omen fairly quickly, I hope. And then last but not least, we have the oh wait, this one belonged in the swamps. I'm sorry. We have the ruins, and the ruins are going to get a shroud. A shroud, which is going to be another creature. Let's see if I can find them. Yes, okay. Now, I got them all nicely sorted, but there's just a lot of them, so I have to kind of pass through them and see if I can spot the one I'm looking for. I got shades, but no shroud. There's a shroud. Okay, here is the Shroud Token. The artwork's phenomenal, by the way. And there's a shroud over it that protects the blights in the space. So that is in the ruins. So if there's another blight in the ruins, then that we have to destroy the shroud first before we can do that. And that is going to be, now I want to talk about the really nasty one. That's the Nexus. It says the Nexus heroes cannot destroy blights that are outside the Nexus location. We have to go destroy the Nexus first. So the first thing we're going to have to do in this game is go try and destroy that thing, and that's not cool for us. But anyway, that's the setup of the blights. So we're going to get rid of this map card. It's going to be discarded. And then the last thing that I have to do is get out our quests. And I like the variant where you start with a quest in the village, and we're going to start with that. And there's a ton of quests for the game. These are things that we can accomplish that will help us or hurt us if we fail, and I have some kind of time limit on them, which is bad. But they will be helpful for us. So, oops, just dropped a whole bunch of them, but we'll pull one out. The Weeping Well, that's fitting for the village, right? It says, basically we've got 5 turns to complete it. We need to put 3 successes on it. So it's roll 3 dice, and we get, for each die that rolls a 3+, we get that's all we have to do. To complete it, we get a Scion Stone, which is an item. If it expires, we get a Terror Blight. It says, buckets dropped into this well sometime, come back filled with tears. Figure out what has happened and dispel the fear that is slowly gripping the area. And that is going to be there in the village. Okay, so here's our first hero, the Acolyte, and you can see that he is basically the Acolyte is a student of the dark arts, halfway down the path to becoming a necromancer himself. The tainted powers the Acolyte studies put him at a particular risk, especially with the flood of undead into the kingdom, but his knowledge also places him in a unique position to undermine the attack. Teetering on the edge of darkness, the Acolyte is perfectly placed to turn the tide. Now, I'm going to go over his abilities. You won't understand them all right now if you haven't played this game before, but let's talk about them. Okay, so his abilities are the Dark Veil, which is a bonus. It says exhaust. That means turn it at any time to ignore Blight's effects. So if he's in an area of the Blight, he can ignore the effect of it, or he can exhaust after you fail an attack on a Blight to ignore its defense so it doesn't hurt him. Now, he's not very strong. He's only got a Grace of 3. Grace is basically the force that God imbues you to keep you alive, because every time you hit, you get killed, and then a grace resurrects you and keeps you alive. Okay, final rest. It's a tactic. It says fight with 2 dice instead of 3. You'll understand what that means. If any dice comes up 1, you lose a grace, and that's bad. And then blinding black. This is a good one. After a necromancer movement roll to prevent him from detecting any heroes, that means the necromancer won't. He can guarantee the necromancer will not find somebody. Okay, next up we have our ranger. Let's take a look at our ranger. It says, the ranger is a capable hunter, accustomed to roaming the far reaches of the kingdom. Through intimate familiarity with the less traveled parts of the land, the ranger is able to find refuge or passage where others would be lost and turn the unique features of each region to his advantage. In combat, his tactics are unconventional but no less effective for it. So, now, you see that there's a deck of cards here. This is the rest of their powers. They have 5 starting powers in the 2nd edition. In the 1st edition, they had 4. And you get to pick 3 to start with. And these are the ones I picked. So, for him, I picked Tracking, Exhausted Travel, and then Search. That's very powerful. Poison Arrow, fight with 3 dice. If the highest dice equals the target number, you both succeed and fail the roll. So that's not good, but the Poison Arrow is pretty powerful for him. And then Race the Hare. Elude with 2 dice. If you roll a 6, you must move to an adjacent location. Those are his 3 starting abilities that he took. So he's got a good attack and then a couple good defensive things. And then let's see. We're going to then go on to the Mercenary here. The Mercenary says, while many have trained in the martial arts, the Mercenary has made it his life and livelihood. Constantly depending on his skills for work and survival, he has learned a wide range of tactics and techniques to cut down opposition with ruthless efficiency and live until the next job. Everything else is secondary. Now he starts with a 5 grace, which is higher, the same as the Rangers, but much higher than the Acolytes. The Acolytes is 3, and he's secrecy of 4. The Ranger's secrecy starts at a 7. It's very, very high. That is his default, or his starting position. Okay, then he's got Spoils of War. Exhaust after you destroy a Blight to gain a treasure chest. That's really good. That means he gets more skills. You may only use 1 war power for each Blight you destroy. So one that says of war, you can only use 1 per. Military style tactics, he fights with 2 dice. That's just all the time. That's good. Determination, when you fail an attack or quest roll, gain 2 sparks. That's good because sparks can be used for a variety of things in this game. And that's a new thing for the 2nd edition. And then last but not least, we have the Mesmer. And the Mesmer is kind of a magic guy. So we have 2 magic guys, the Acolyte and the Mesmer. It says the Mesmer is able to see and mold the thoughts and emotions in the minds of others. With an arsenal of plans and ideas culled from the minds of those around him, the Mesmer can undermine foes and lead allies with subtle suggestions or mind-bending illusion. When he reaches the height of his power, Mesmers need not lift a finger or take a step to control events throughout the land. Sounds pretty powerful, but they start off kind of weaker. They're effective. I mean, it's an effective character, and I'll show you that. Now again, keep in mind these are prototypes, so some of the cards don't have artwork on them. So the ones he's got is Consume Dreams, tactic. He fights with 3 dice. He exhausts this, which means he has to rest to get it back. If you roll fewer than 2 successes, so he's out of his 3 dice, he's got to succeed 2 times. Suggestion, as an action, he can move a hero at a location to an adjacent to them, or a hero at an adjacent location to your location. So it gives us an extra move bonus. It's an action. It doesn't, and it also gains them a secrecy, which is good. And then Pilfer Secrets, Exhaust and Search. If you succeed, you get +1 clue, which is what we need to do to get the relics. So he can automatically get these. If you fail, gain a treasure chest. So even if he fails, he gains something. That's pretty powerful. And then again, they got a whole stack of other abilities. Those are our characters. And now really all we got to do is get started with the game so you can see how it plays. So each character in Darkest Night gets one of these tokens. These tokens are basically turn markers. That means you've taken your turn or not taken your turn. The reason for that is because there's no turn order. We can go in any order we see fit. And so, we definitely want to do that because we can, like for example, we can send the Acolyte there. He can ignore the power of this enigma in the village and search the village anyway. But I think what we're going to do is we're going to start with the Ranger because he gets to take people with him, right? Well, I didn't take that ability, so no, he can't. But he can exhaust to travel and search, and that is pretty good because searching gets us stuff. stuff is going to be important later on. He can, I think what he might do is go to the mountains, perhaps. He can't go to the village and search. It's just a 4 instead of, that makes it, the search value equal to, and here's where the search value is. You can see it right here. Search difficulty of 3, and it tells you basically what you're going to get. So he can go up to the mountains and search. It's got the potential for relics, items, and it's got a difficulty of 4. So let's do that. So actually the first turn, there's another thing that normally happens. We normally draw an event first for each character before they take their turn. But because they're all in a monastery, anybody in the monastery does not draw an event. So we all start there. So the first turn is going to be, normally all you do is get to move or act, but not move and act. So if he exhausts this, he can travel and search. So he's going to do that right away. By the way, here's the standee. Now I'm going to have miniatures for this when the game comes out, but the standees are nice enough. They're really good. He's going to move up to the mountains here, where he can then roll a search die. Now we're going to do that. I got my handy dandy little Necromancer dice tower. We're going to do that by rolling 1 die and see what he gets. So a 2, he did not succeed. So that's all that happens. He gets nothing for it. That is kind of a bummer. But that was his first turn. So now, basically, the rest of them are just going to be moving because there's really nothing else they can do. I do not want to go here because, well, with anybody but the Mercenary perhaps, because the Mercenary or the Mesmer could go there. I think we'll send the Acolyte over to the village because he can decide to ignore that enigma there. He's going to head over to the Nexus and try and kill the Nexus. That'll be his plot, his plan. And then, but that's all he does. Now remember, no event because he's starting in the monastery, and so that means the Acolyte and the Ranger have both taken their move. Now we have the Mercenary and the Mesmer. I think the Mesmer is going to head to the village as well. He'll join the Acolyte there, and he'll head to the village. Now normally they would also gain a secrecy for moving, but it's only if they're under 5. They can gain up to 5 that way, and everybody currently, with the exception of the Mercenary, is over 5, so he will gain 1 when he moves. And I think that what we'll do is we'll send the Mercenary down here to take on the nastier events down in the forest there, so that he can deal with that, and that will give him a secrecy to move there. That's a turn, guys. That's a whole first turn. I think the next turn is going to be more exciting because we're going to get to do some things, but we're also going to be drawing events, and events are not cool. They're all usually bad. Now, what happens next? Now we take the Necromancer turn. So here's what happens on the Necromancer's turn. First off, we're going to lose a secrecy if we start our turn there, and then we're going to do, and that shows you where the rules references are. We're going to increase the darkness track by 1. Then we're going to add tokens to the quest markers, and then we're going to move the Necromancer and create a new Blight. So let's take a look at the board. This is the Necromancer here. This is his standee. He's a pretty evil looking dude. He starts in the ruins. But the first thing that's going to happen is we are going to move the darkness track. Not a big deal yet, just moves up to 1, and there's some opportunities for us to knock it back if possible as well. But that's all that happens there. Then we're going to take one of these hourglass tokens that look like this, and we're going to put it on the Weeping Well. We got 4 more turns to resolve the Weeping Well. So maybe the Mesmer might take that on. I'm not sure. We'll see. But we're definitely going to take it on, and we got to do that. All right, and then so then now we're going to move the Necromancer. Now you see all these dice numbers on the board, and that's how we move him. So we're going to roll a dice. Now if somebody's at a 0 secrecy, he's going to find him. He's going to go right after him. But right now he can't see anybody unless he rolls higher than the number of that. Otherwise, he's just going to move in the direction. So he rolled a 3. So that nobody's lower than a 3. We have somebody at a 3, which is the Acolyte. But wait, the Acolyte moved. He should. I'm sorry. He's at a 7. Nobody's at a 3 secrecy. So what we do is we look on the board, and if you look at the ruins, the 3, unfortunately, is the village. So the Necromancer moves to the village, where he's going to drop another Blight on that space. And how do we drop a Blight? Well, we take the big map deck. I'll give it a cut, and we'll draw and see what happens in the village. The village, ooh, there's some spies in the village, nasty old spies. Okay, so let me get the spies out. They are over here, and I'll show you what they do. So the spies are going to ruin our secrecy. Each turn we remain there with them, that they're not defeated, they're going to take a secrecy away from us. And that's how the Necromancer finds us. So now there's 2 Blights there. Now remember, we can't destroy any Blights until we go after the Nexus. And unless there's a Blight with the Nexus, then we can destroy that. And that's a terrible thing. We have to keep moving or something, or we're going to continue to suffer. Now, we probably don't want to stay in the village, even though we want to complete the well. We definitely want to complete the well, because I don't want an extra Blight on the board for no reason when we can get an item, which would be even better. And what we can get is a Scion Stone. What do those do? Well, a Scion Stone says, place on one of your powers during your turn. All heroes may use tactic effects from that card as if it was theirs. May not be moved after being placed on the power. So it's a permanent effect on a power, a tactics power. So for example, using the Mesmer, I could place it on his. It says fight with 3 dice, exhaust if you roll fewer than 2. That means anybody can use his power and do that. Interesting. That probably wouldn't be the one I'd do it on. I'd probably do it on like the mercenaries fight with 2 dice all the time, his military style. But that's basically the end of the Necromancer's turn now. Now, the way we're playing, I got to decide on, I thought I decided on my difficulty. I think we're going to play, at some point, I'm going to leave it a mystery for right now for you, but at some point we're going to draw a darkness card. The Necromancer is going to start getting tougher. We're going to draw those as we go. If we ever get to 30, we're going to lose the game. If any of the characters, I think, if any of the, I got to look up, I got to remember, I don't think you die when you, or you lose when you kill a character, but lots of bad things can happen. If the monastery gets overrun, so if every place has 4 blights, they all start going to the monastery. If the monastery gets 4 blights, we lose. So you can see there's a potential for blights to build up pretty quickly in the game. Alright, that ends that Necromancer turn. So let's go back around to our characters. I flipped all their tokens up so I know which one to play. And I think we're going to start again with the Ranger, I believe. He is going to stay on the move right now. Well, because he's going to run over to the castle. There's skeletons there. Oh, wait, this Blight. What is the Shades? He's going to have to, you know what I didn't do? Gosh almighty. This was a meat creature. I had to resolve this at the end of their turn. The other ones didn't affect him, but this one did. So we're going to take that option. I can get back in the groove of the game, guys. We're going to take that option. When you're in a place that affects you, you have to either choose to defend or evade, or if you fail, you take just the effect. So for him, he has the ability to, he gets to evade with 2 dice because of his Race the Hare. If he rolls a 6, he has to move, which isn't a bad thing for him. So he's going to attempt to evade the skeletons. Now, we need a 5 to evade as opposed to 3 to fight, but he's got nothing. Well, he could fight him, but he's going to evade with 2 dice because it's a better option for him right now. Let's see if he gets it. No, he absolutely failed with 2 1s. Here we go, guys. Okay. Couldn't have rolled worse. So he is going to actually suffer a grace, which puts him down to 4. That would have ended his turn. Sorry about that, guys. I skipped a bit ahead. Now we're going to go back to their turns. Now, for their next turns, before they do anything, we have to draw events. So we're going to get out an event card and see what we get. I'm just going to shuffle them up to give them an extra little shuffle going on here. Events are almost always bad. There are some good ones in there, but they're mostly not good. So we're going to, well, here, I'll just keep that. Let me cut it one more time, and then we'll draw the top one. Boom. Oh yeah, this looks bad. A ritual. You may spend 1 grace and lose 1 secrecy to cancel this event. So we can hurt ourselves to cancel it. It says count the blights in your location. Well, there's 1. 1 to 2 blights. We get a new blight there. I don't think we're going to sacrifice ourselves for that. We're just going to spawn the new blight. So I discard that ritual. And we're going to draw another map card. What does it give us? It gives us, we are in the mountains. So it is going to put a corruption blight there. This is the corruption right here. No bonuses. We can't exhaust. Jeez. Luckily we're moving, because we would exhaust all powers at the end of our turn if we were still in that space. Or no, if we failed, sorry, if we failed to beat him. If we tried to hit him and fail, we would exhaust all of our powers. Basically, it just causes no bonuses there. That's not great, but we're moving on right now anyway, because we can't fight anything. We're going to head toward the castle. So that was his event. So now he's going to move over to the castle. That's all he gets to do. There are skeletons there, so he's going to have to deal with the skeletons there. They are a little easier than the Shades, but they actually are not. They're tougher. They need a 4/4 evade. So he's going to try and evade again. He's going to try it again. I'm going to use 2 different dice. That was terrible. I think these dice sucked for me before. I should get some different ones. Let's see what he rolls. A 6. So he succeeded, but according to his Race the Hare ability, the tactic he used, elude with 2 dice. Now you see how that works. So he's got 2 dice to elude, and he has to beat the number we chose to evade. If you roll a 6, you must move to an adjacent location. Well, he's not upset about that at all, really, because he can go here, and then he can tackle the Nexus next turn. So that's good. He's already there. All right, good job, Ranger. That's the end of his turn. Okay, now let's go to our mercenary here. He is down in the forest. We're going to draw 2 event cards and pick the one with the highest rating, and I'll show you what that number is. It's the number in the top corner. They're both 3s, so we get to choose. So what do we have? We have an altar. It says roll a die. On a 4 to 6, it's a pure altar. You gain 1 secrecy to gain. You can spend a secrecy to gain a grace. That's pretty good. Or a defiled one. Spend a grace or increase the doom track by 1. Then we got dark discharge. Create a blight in your location and -1. Doom track's only at 1. I think we're just going to do this one because it gives him a chance for something positive. So let's roll that. We're going to get this out here. Here's our mercenary. And we're going to roll 1 die against the altar. Let's see what he gets. A 6. Awesome. So 4 to 6, it's a pure altar. You may spend 1 secrecy to gain a grace. He will absolutely do that. So he goes down to 4 secrecy, but he goes up to 6 grace. That was very good for him. And now he's in this spot with this. Oh, but he can't do anything there. So he's still there. What's he going to do? Does he want to stay there and draw? He could roll. Well, the only thing he can really do is roll a search roll. So he's going to do that because there's 2 characters that are going to end up in the land with the swamp to take out the Nexus. He does not need to be there. So I rolled a 1, so he did not succeed in his search. And that's going to mark the end of his turn. Not a very effective turn. It's too bad. All right, now we got the Mesmer. Let's do the Mesmer next. He is in the space with the Necromancer, so he's got to get the heck out of there. But we're first going to draw his event. See what it is. Dark Servant, or Dead Servant rather. So we're going to compare it to his secrecy. The Mesmer's secrecy is a 6. So 5+. We have to deal with a scout. We cannot fight it. We must evade it with a 5, and if we fail, we lose a secrecy. Can he evade? He does not have anything to evade with, so we're just going to pull this over. We're going to roll a die, and hopefully he rolls. He needs a 5 or better on a die to evade. Another 1. That's just fantastic. So he did not evade, which means he goes down to 5 secrecy. That's all that does, is take a secrecy from him. Okay, now that means he's easier to find by the Necromancer. Now for his turn. The Mesmer is going to... He's going to go to the swamp as well and help secure the... make sure we kill the Nexus, because that is super critical. And that's really going to end his turn. That's all he does. Now when he moves, he gains a secrecy back if he's below 5, and he's not. So it's not going to change anything for him. Okay. Next up, we got the Acolyte. He is just fine staying there with the big bad. He's going to lose secrecy from the spies at the end of his turn. But that's it. So we're not too worried about the rest of that. He's going to roll 3 dice and attempt to get this well going. So hopefully we're going to roll... We just have to roll 3s or better. Hopefully we do a little better than we've been doing, right? We've been doing terrible on dice rolls. A 6, a 4, and a 4, so he succeeded at all 3, which means in 1 round he completed this. So we would have put 3 tokens on it. It says roll 3 dice. For each 3+ rolled, we get a success. So we got our 3 successes. We completed. We get the Scion Stone. So the Acolyte's got the Scion Stone, and I think he's going to put it on the Final Rest Tactic, and that is this one. It says fight with 2 dice or 3 dice. If any die comes up with 1, you lose a grace. He's going to put the Scion Stone on that, so all of our players now have a better ability to fight, and we have completed our first quest. Now, he is in the space with this enigma. It doesn't matter because all it does is search, but the spies are going to affect him. He can't fight, he can't defend against them, he just loses a secrecy. So the Acolyte goes down from a 7 to a 6 secrecy from that. And since he didn't attack a Blight, he does not lose a secrecy there either. And that is... Wait, you know what? I didn't draw his event, did I? No, I did not. So another thing you got to remember to do is draw an event. Okay, Aurora, gain a grace, spend 2 secrecy, or exhaust all your powers. Well, he's going to end up then at a 4 secrecy, but he gained a grace. So that was his card, his event card. That ends all the players' turns again. That was the Acolyte. He was the last player. So now we go to the Necromancer. Do not have a quest. So all we're going to do is mark that up 1, and then we're going to roll for the Necromancer. Since the Acolyte is there, he is going to lose another secrecy, so he's down to 3. Let's hope that the Necromancer doesn't find him. A 5, the Necromancer does find him. He stays right there. That is not good. He can't attack him. He can only attack a character when they're at 0 secrecy. So he knows that the Acolyte is floating around, or one of the heroes is floating around here, but he doesn't know where. However, he's going to drop a 3rd Blight in that location. So the village is going to get a vampire. He called in the big guns. He's going to be pulled in a vampire to help defend or go after the village. Let me find a vampire and get him on the board. Yeah, these are tough. These gold bordered ones. Requires a 6 to destroy. He's a 4 to fight, a 4 to evade, and if we fail, we lose a secrecy. He is now in that space, and that is making the village an unpleasant place to be. That ends the Necromancer's second go, so that's going to end our turn. I think that's going to end this video. That's a good start. Hey, sorry for not pulling the... I'm going to do that again, I promise you, where I missed pulling an event card. For some reason, because you don't pull an event card on the first turn, you tend to start forgetting it. And that's okay. It's not a crisis or anything, but it will definitely play a part in how this game rolls out. Because I will do it more than once, and you're going to have to help me remember not to forget that. So anyway, the Necromancers, he's making a go of it at the village. Remember, if the village gets 4 and then gets another one, it's going to go to the monastery. That is really bad. So we're going to have to destroy this, probably move somebody else in there to take out those blights. You know, the Mesmer's ability to move somebody and gain a secrecy is pretty good, because he is with the ranger and the relic. So if he goes first and destroys, he won't be able to do that. He can only take 1 action. It's an action. So he might actually spend his ability to move the ranger back there and try and defeat the Nexus himself. He does get to fight with 3 dice. So and at least on that round. So he's very likely to destroy this Nexus, which would be a good thing. And that is what we're going to attempt to do, I believe, next turn. And that will free up the Mercenary to destroy the Omen, and we'll then move the Acolyte out and move the Ranger in to start dealing with the Blights there, because it's very, very likely that the Necromancer will move away then. So, end of round, end of couple turns. Thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it. This is one of my favorite games. This game is so cool for being, and it's so mechanically simple and straightforward, but yet so diverse. It's just really good stuff. So, I really appreciate you watching. Thanks a lot, and I hope you enjoy another playthrough of Darkest Night, 2nd edition, beta version. Keep that in mind, beta version, and it'll be a lot of fun. Now, guys, my contest is still going, so please jump on there. If you respond to my original thread on that, which is my channel update from 2 updates ago, you can find it under my channel updates, and respond there. You're in the contest. If we get a couple more subscribers and a few more dollars, I'm going to be adding games to the giveaway. So let's get that done, guys. Thanks, and I will talk to you soon.